Just before I make the bed up, I've seen your message saying you want to see what storage there is for things like outside chairs and what have you. I've kind of shown those, but I'll show you how we used to lay the van out to do that, specifically on storage. So this side of the bed here, you've got your electrical control unit down there, but we could fit a 2 or 3 sleeping bags in there and a couple of pillows each. That does go into the corner unit here that has some space in it as well. So I can just kind of get that there, and a big long aerial extensions in there at the minute as well. So you can store. We stored all of our bed linen in those 2 cupboards. This one, it kind of does store. We end up storing just some games and outside toys for the kids there. Outside chairs, we tended to keep them on the floor here. You know, a little bit of planning for the weekend. You'd figure out which awning it is, and the other ones would stay in the garage. The big long Fiamma I actually stored in the blind side of the caravan the whole time, and then if I needed it, I just moved it across to the other one. We stored, again, mostly games and stuff like that in here, in that cupboard. I kept my tool bag and what have you in there. So the top storage I've shown you in the other video, that tends to be for games, food, all of that good stuff, and how we got ourselves organised with that. And again, in this one here was kind of our main one for all of our for food for the weekend. Say the 2 under seat storages here, I tended to try and get the awning in there. It just means it's slightly easier to move around on those. For that. And again, the under bunk storage here, I kept my television in there, I had my solar panels in there, a lot of outside stuff in there, so you can do that. When you're travelling, that's the best thing to do with your aqua roll and your water. Aqua roll and the water hog thing, the green one, for your wastewater. You store them in there. As soon as you get to site, it's one of the first jobs you do, take both of those out. Send the kids up with this one with the aluminium U-frame that's in the outside locker, up to the water tap, get them to fill that up, and then take that one outside. And the 2 bags, I just stick one inside the other. I try them to put them in the front locker with the with the gas where the gas is stored, but you know, that's a choice. You sometimes stick it in the back of the car if you're there for a couple of days, or put it into, you know, you stick it underneath the caravan, or if you've got the awning up, you can put it in there. I've shown you the lockers outside. I tended not to store. I mean, there's decent storage outside for everything. So if you wanted things like, you know, your gas bottles. You know, gas bottle is stored at the front. I've had a second propane bottle, which is half the size. I used that for I had a Karak Safari Chef little camping stove. The trick to do with those, and the reason for having 2 gas bottles, is if you are away for the weekend and one of them runs out, and then you've got the second half size one, you can run the van on the half size one. It means you don't go, right, you know, I'm only away for the weekend, I've run out of gas on Saturday morning, I'm now going to spend all Saturday getting gas, I'm actually away for a holiday. I can run the van and you can limp along with one of the other gas bottles, and then change it when you're done. Also kept things like storage, black mats in there, so when you step out of the caravan, obviously we're in the storage yard here, so I've got the metal steps are there, but quite often what I do is get 4 black rubber mats down as well, and sometimes you nail them down or peg them down because it's a bit windy, but it means that you're not stepping out onto onto gravel and things like that, and it gives you somewhere to store your shoes. Okay.